Welcome to the 8-minute daily foam roll sesh. My name is Charlie and I will be your trainer. For today's session, all you're going to need is a foam roller. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with our quads. So you're just going to lay on top of the foam roller, and then instead of doing a giant north to south rolls, meaning up and down, you're just going to go side to side. Now we're going to hit almost every major muscle group in this 8-minute session, so you can do this foam rolling session anytime before or after workout, in the morning, in the evening, basically whenever you're feeling tight and you got about 8 minutes to foam roll. Let's go ahead and switch to the left leg. We're going to roll left to right over the left thigh or the left quadricep muscles. Now, the reason why we roll left to right as opposed to big sweeping up and down or north to south rolls is because the fibers in the thigh run from the hip down to the knee. And so by rolling over the fibers, we're able to kind of give it a cross friction pattern. Now let's go ahead and switch to our glutes, starting with the right side. So you're actually going to sit on the foam roller on an angle. So right foot's going to go on top of the left knee. You're going to rotate your body over towards the right side slightly. And once you do that rotation, you should feel that meaty part of the outer edge of the hip right where you want to roll over. Now you're just going to move up and down in about a 4 to 6 inch pattern. You can move side to side as it feels good for you. Again, you're just kind of moving over and rolling over the muscles in the direction where it feels good for you. And then switching over onto the left side, so you're going to place the left foot on top of the right knee, roll slightly over onto the left side, hands are behind you supporting you, and then just starting by rolling up and down. You can move side to side however it feels good to you, just really trying to get over that meaty portion, the glutes, on the outer edge of the left hip. And then slowly coming off the foam roller, we're going to start to get into the back muscles. So booty's going to stay on the ground, hands are going to go behind the head, and then all you're going to do is you're going to roll the body north to south so that you're hitting the muscles all along the right and left sides of the spine. If hands are behind the head, you can bring the elbows together, and that should give you a little bit more room to hit the muscles that are in between the shoulder blades. If you want, you can rotate the body to the left or the right, and you should be able to get a little bit more on each side of the body. We're going to spend about a minute here, so go ahead and feel free to explore the backside. This typically feels really good in the thoracic region of the spine, which is going to be from about the collarbone down to just above the belly button. So if you want to live in that area, you can breathe into any tight spots. You can kind of mush your way into opening those muscles up. All we're really trying to do is just increase blood flow to those areas. Let's go ahead and come to the sides of the body now. So we hit the entire back. We're going to move into the sides of the body where the lats are. We're going to place the foam roller right underneath the armpit. Arm is going to reach up overhead, palm is facing the ceiling. Instead of rolling, you're just going to mash into the foam roller left to right. So we're hitting a few different things. The muscles that are attached to the scapula or the shoulder blade. We're also hitting the muscles that are on the sides of the body. This could be a pretty tender spot, so just make sure that you're breathing and move at your own tempo. And then taking this over onto the left side. So foam roller is going to be right underneath the left armpit. Left arm is reaching above her head, and the left palm is facing the ceiling. Instead of rolling up and down, you're just allowing the weight of your body to press into the foam roller, and you're just going to roll front to back. As you roll front to back, you should feel a nice, it may not be so nice, but it could be a little tender, but a nice massage underneath the left armpit. Let's go ahead and switch back to the lower body. We're going to work on the hamstrings. Now you can do one leg at a time or you can do both legs at the same time. One thing I like to do with one leg at a time is flex the foot and then rotate the toes inward. You're going to start to feel a nice stretch all along the backside of the inner thigh. So right where the thigh attaches to the glute, there could be a pretty sensitive spot, especially if you're an indoor cyclist or a runner. So by flexing the foot and rotating the toes inward, you'll be able to hit that hot spot. If you haven't already switched legs, make sure you switch over to the left side. You can also flex the foot and rotate the toes outward, and you'll hit more of the outer hamstrings, a little bit closer to what you might consider where the IT band lies. We're just going to send this a little bit more south, this time getting the lower leg where the calves are. Now, trick of the trade, instead of staying right in the center down the midline of the calves, you can actually roll the calf side to side, so it's almost like you're windshield wipering your foot, and you should feel a different sort of release on the outer edge of the calf, but also on the inner side of the calves. You can do one leg and then the other. You can do both at the same time. If you want a little bit more pressure, you could always stack your feet on top of each other. Whenever you're ready, you can switch onto the left leg. Otherwise, if you're still working on the right one, go ahead and stay there. We got about 30 seconds on the left side. Now for the final few minutes, we're just going to go ahead and take a few stretches. So go ahead and abandon the foam roller. First stretch that we're going to do is we're going to come into a downward facing dog. We're targeting just about everything on the back side or the posterior side of the body. Downward facing dog, feet are hip distance apart, hands are slightly wider than shoulder width apart. If hamstrings are tight, you can bend the knees, but you want to really think about pressing yourself away from the mat, shooting the hips up towards the ceiling, and then pulling the chest towards the shins. We're going to stay here for about a minute, so just take some nice deep breaths. You can pedal the legs, meaning you can bend one knee and then the other, or you can just enjoy this position. Taking this one step further, you're going to bring the right foot on the outer edge of the right hand. Keeping the left hand pressed down into the mat, you're just going to rotate the right arm towards the ceiling so that your chest is facing that right knee. We like to call this stretch the greatest stretch in the world because it hits about every major joint. Back foot, make sure the heel is lifted up towards the ceiling, that the left arm is pressing into the mat, that you're opening up the chest. Right hand's going to come down. We're going to come to a malasana or a low yogi squat. Toes are pointed out, elbows are pressing into the knees, and hips are low. You can move around in this position or you can just stay here taking a few breaths. When you're ready, you can step the right foot back. We're going to do the greatest stretch of the world on the left side. So right hand will be down on the mat, right foot is back, left arm is reaching up towards the ceiling. Press your right foot into the mat, lifting up the right heel, and also press your left foot into the mat. Really think about rotating to open up the chest. Now go ahead and bring your hand down. You're going to walk the hands over, coming into a standing position.